My name is Hannah, and I eat men like air. And this is my no-buy year. If you guys don't know that Sylvia Plath poem, you have to read it. I'm going to link it down below. It's called Lady Lazarus, and it doesn't go, my name is Hannah and I eat men like air, but the last stanza of the poem is, beware, beware, out of the ash I rise with my red hair, and I eat men like air. And it's so good. Put me on pause. Go read Lady Lazarus and come on back, and then I'll give you my April check-in, okay? Okay. If you are new to my channel, if you came from the makeup rehab subreddit, welcome. I am so happy to have all of you. I don't know if you guys are keeping track of my statistics like I am, but I woke up this morning and I had gained 50 subscribers overnight, and for a really tiny channel like mine, that's very exciting. And then over the rest of the day, I've gained over 100 subscribers. So I went to bed with around 320 last night, and at this point I have over 450. I've also been checking out the subreddit, and it's amazing. It's like my people. You are my people. I'm not a huge Reddit user. I follow the RuPaul's Drag Race Reddit assiduously, but that's kind of been my only experience with Reddit so far, and I'm just a lurker. I go on there and I just read and read and read after every episode every Thursday because I love Drag Race so much. I cannot get enough. I'm really excited to have discovered the Makeup Rehab Reddit because I feel like what I'm doing on this channel and the project that I'm doing this year and a lot of the people's goals and projects on that subreddit all mesh together really well. So I'm really excited that you have discovered me, and I'm really excited that I have discovered you. And thank you so much to the subscriber who posted about me on that subreddit. You did a huge favor to my little tiny burgeoning channel. And this is part of my check-in. This isn't the intro anymore. This is my check-in. I don't know, maybe at some point I managed to insert like a segue title card. If I didn't, I'll insert it here. I love this little community. I love you guys, my subscribers, and I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and I always see people saying, oh, I love you guys, I love my subscribers, blah, 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 blah. It's not like I didn't believe them, but I also kind of took it with a grain of salt, especially YouTubers who are making money from YouTube. There's just no way to understand the genuine nature of that feeling that people are trying to articulate when they say, I love you guys, until it starts to happen. I'm so grateful for the support and for the solidarity and for people who are willing to share their feelings and their struggles in the comments. Not only does it hold me accountable and make me feel like I have people watching me and I need to continue to get through my no-buy year without losing faith. Not only does it do that, but it also kind of changes my perception of why I'm doing this and who I'm doing it for. I honestly started this channel for me. I started this project, this no-buy year, and I started this channel in tandem with it to try to make the project more complete, more solid. But now, just a couple of months into it, I'm doing it for you. All of your comments that have said, thank you so much, I need this so much, watching your videos helps me, watching your videos is good for me, that's news to me. I wasn't really expecting that this would be like that. I'm feeling very inarticulate tonight, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. The check-in is usually the video in which I am required to be the most articulate, and I sat down here and I just opened my mouth and it was like frogs started falling out. All I've been trying to say is, if you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you. The overnight bump in subscribers that I just received, small as it is in the larger context of YouTube, it's a lot to me, it's big to me, and it's made me think more about trying to understand what you want to see from me and provide that to you. So if there's anything I can do to make my channel more watchable, more enjoyable, if there is anything you would like to see, please don't hesitate to let me know, because I want to do this for you. I am now fully doing this for you. So this month has brought a couple of small changes in my behavior that have resulted in big changes in my behavior. This whole year, my whole 2018 has kind of been a slow crawl towards full health for me. I know that there are a number of things that I can do that make me optimally healthy. And I've experimented enough over the course of my late 20s and early 30s to really understand those things and have them in hand. So if you were to ask me, Hannah, what are the things that you need to do in order to be at your most healthy? I could make you a list, and that list would be true. Like I know what the things are. And when I'm feeling miserable, when I'm feeling yucky, when I'm feeling kind of like my body's out of whack, I know the remedy. I'm not casting around being like, what ails me? I know not what ails me. No, I know what ails me and I know how to fix it. It's just easier said than done. And there have been times in my life when I have had all of my ducks in a row and I have really felt at my most healthy, strong, energetic, optimistic, creative, powerful. And it's usually a result of having really girded my loins and one after the other begun to incorporate all of those healthy behaviors into my life. In the past, when I have done that, one unhealthy behavior has always remained, and it has been, I'll give you one guess, overspending. So even at my most healthy and my happiest and my most productive, I still had this icky, dark rot eating away at me, and it was the fact that I couldn't control my spending. I started out the year with my no-buy year in place, and so that major piece of health, mental health, financial health, and the happiness that comes with those things is in place. It has been solidly in place since day one. It's been a struggle because it hasn't always felt good to not give in to those desires, but overall, I've been doing the thing. That box has been checked next to that thing on my long list of ways for me to be healthy. All the other things, however, all the other things on the list, the check marks have kind of flickered in and out, right? I have periodically eaten really well and then not eaten as well. I've periodically exercised a lot and not. I've gotten a lot of sleep for some weeks and then not. I've really been struggling to gird my loins and check all of the boxes. And it's partly because not shopping felt like such a blow to the little girl in me that just wants to do all the things she wants to do. When I took shopping away from her, that little toddler inside pitched a fit and she kind of destroyed the entire list. She took the list of healthy behaviors and shredded it and threw it in the air and then danced as the confetti rained down all around her. A more concise way of saying this is that because of the no-buy year, it's been a struggle to get back all of my healthy behaviors and put them back in place. And so that's what I mean when I say that 2018 has kind of been like a slow crawl towards health for me. Anyway, this is really getting out of control, this check-in. All of you who are new here, I would like to say it's not always like this, but that would be a lie. It's always like this. The reason for this lengthy spiel of context about health is this. One of my healthy behaviors is meditation. I have a meditation practice. It's not extensive, it's not extreme. It's very, very, very small. It's just kind of less than 10 minutes a day, and I usually do a guided meditation that I listen to on headphones. I usually just do it right after breakfast. I come in here into my office, I sit in my armchair, and I listen to the 8 to 10 minute meditation, and then I go about my day. It's kind of the most I can do right now, and it's a lot. Like, it makes a huge, huge difference. And I notice a difference, this might sound strange to some of you, but I notice a difference in my digestion, for example, when I meditate every day, because it just brings the stress level of the body down. It brings the stress hormones down. So I know that there are psychological benefits to meditation, and that is one of the reasons that it's on the list. But the thing that really drives me to do it the most are the physiological benefits. The fact that I know that it helps the body to get back in balance. I resist it because I think, oh, it's boring, or I'm running late today, oh, I don't really need it, is it really gonna make that much of a difference? The same way I resist all my healthy behaviors. But when I start that climb towards health, when I start checking the boxes off, meditation is one of the things that I will put in place. Anyway, this month, for the first time in 2018, because I haven't been meditating, but this month I have. I started meditating. I started listening to just this one guided meditation by a brilliant woman named Tara Brach, and I will put the link to her website down below because I believe that she has a number of free guided meditations on her website. The one that I love is called Letting Go of Control. So these two things, the meditation and this book that I've been reading, have both contributed to kind of like a shift in my thinking and a shift in my presence. Taking the Leap by Pema Chodron. I have read this book like 5 times over the course of the past couple of years. And this time I read it and it was like I had never read it before. The same is true of my Tara Brach meditation, Letting Go of Control. I've been listening to it for years. And this time, this month, when I started listening to it, it was like I was listening to it newly. There are things she says during the 8 minutes that I felt I had never heard before. I'd heard them, but I hadn't really heard them. I'm going to try to synthesize briefly what I feel it is I have received or understood from these two women, Pema Chodron and Tara Brach. It has to do with being at peace with the ebb and flow of life. The part of the meditation that has really stood out to me over and over again is the moment where she says, imagine yourself a passenger in a car. You don't know where you're going. You're just noticing and allowing. So this idea of allowing your life to be okay, however it is, it's radical to me. And trying to do it and thinking about it has led me to understand that my habit is to have kind of like a stranglehold on my day, the way my day unfolds, the way my life unfolds. I wake up in the morning and I start thinking, how is the day gonna go? Is it gonna be a good day? Am I gonna get XYZ done? Am I gonna be happy? And I start to kind of anticipate all of the ways that it could go wrong, and I start to bear down on the day with this chokehold and try to squeeze it into submission, into a shape that I somehow believe is the shape that my life is supposed to take. I've developed this kind of fear that if my life doesn't take this really specific shape, that will be a disaster. If I don't look a specific way, if I don't feel a specific way, if my partner doesn't feel a specific way, if I'm not XYZ amount of productive, if it's not XYZ level of glamour, I just have this picture, this kind of amorphous and unachievable fantasy of life, and I am constantly trying to control my life to squeeze it into that shape. And I think that buying products, buying new clothes, buying new makeup, buying things for my house, rearranging my house, trying to make my life and my person and my face and my everything be a certain way. It's all stemmed from this compulsion to really, really tightly control my life, which is the opposite of letting life be just as it is. The opposite of imagining myself as a passenger in a car not knowing where I'm supposed to go. Instead, it's like, no, I know where I'm supposed to go, and I know how long it's going to take to get there. I'm driving the car, damn it, I'm driving the car. I still am. I mean, it's not like I've changed overnight. I've simply become aware of my mental habits. And now that I'm aware of them, I can kind of catch myself in the act. And it happens now several times a day. I'll have this feeling of trying to engineer my life to be a certain way, and then I'll see myself, like from up here, doing it, and I'll be like, oh, you're doing that thing. Sometimes just noticing myself is enough to let go a little bit. That's a lot of what this book is about too, and the book has just kind of reframed it for me. This is a page that I've been reading a lot. I kind of read it over and over again. When anything unexpected or not to our liking happens, we think that something has gone wrong. She's basically saying that we think that we're supposed to be happy and good all the time. And if anything that doesn't fit our narrow definition of a good life, anything happens, we think something has gone wrong. I tend to think I have failed. If anything in my life happens that doesn't fit my narrow definition of an ecstatically glamorous and amazing life, I immediately think I have failed, and I feel really bad about it. Pema Chodron really encourages me to experience the ups and the downs of life as all part of the ecstasy that is life. So in spite of having talked for like 100 years about this, I don't know if I've done a good job of explaining what I'm going through, but I think it's important to talk about this in this check-in because I know for a fact that these changes in my ability to be at peace with life would not be possible without my no-buy year, because buying stuff has always been a way of temporarily pushing those bad feelings away. Buying stuff is like a knee-jerk reaction to that fear that my life isn't glamorous enough or isn't perfect enough or successful enough. It's like a band-aid on those feelings. And I wouldn't have been able to learn to live with those feelings if I hadn't removed that crutch. I don't think that it's a coincidence that I read this book 4 times and I listened to that meditation hundreds of times during my former life, my pre-no-buy year life, and appreciated them but didn't quite get it. And now, 4 months into my year-long no-buy, I've picked up this book and that meditation again, and it has changed me, like reached inside and started to retool some of my fundamental pains. And I know a lot of people in my life who know about this project, they know about my no-buy year, they think it's cool, but I don't think they would consider it profound or like earth-shattering or anything like that. This kind of change that is starting to happen in my life and in my heart and the relationship between my mind and my heart is a testament to how incredibly powerful the compulsion towards shopping is, how dark it can be. And people who don't have experience with it or who aren't maybe sucked in the same way we are, especially those of us for whom our compulsion to shop is tied into our need to be perfect, our need to be feminine, our need to be perfect women, this kind of perfectionism that is specifically a blight on women. That goes very, very deep. It's not light, it's not frivolous. And I've always believed that, I've always thought that, and it's being confirmed and reconfirmed, first by how difficult it was and how many years it took for me to get to this point, and now it's being reconfirmed by how surprisingly massive the shifts in my life are now that I'm starting to actually wage a real battle with these demons. If you are struggling with some of these issues, the issues that drove me to start my no-buy year, don't allow other people to make light of them, and don't allow yourself to make light of them. It's real, it's dark, and it requires some serious seeking, some actual work to overcome. I believed that at the beginning of the year, and I believe it fourfold now, one-fold for each month. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to the camera. I wanted to be back here. I wanted to be like in frame. And then I was like, you guys, I've got to tell you about Buddhist meditation. So the second thing that I wanted to relate to you about the month of April for me and my no-buy year is kind of loosely related to that other stuff, but it's also just a separate observation that I made. And that has to do with what we fill our lives with. I mentioned in my last video that I went to a tango festival last weekend, so I was up in Portland. I danced a lot. I was kind of on cloud nine the entire time. I barely slept. And leading up to it, as one of the measures of health that I try to put in place, I had stopped eating sugar for some weeks. I always I try to eat very little sugar or no sugar, and then sugar will kind of worm its way back into my diet, and then I'll banish it again and it'll worm its way back in. I felt like I was going to probably indulge in some things that I don't usually eat while I was up in Portland. I thought, oh, I'll be going out to dinner, there will be desserts, there will be chocolate everywhere. There were treats everywhere. There was all this chocolate and candy and all of this stuff, and I didn't want it. I didn't have room in my life to want it because I was so happy that weekend. I was loving dancing, and all I wanted was to dance and be with my friends, and I just didn't feel the need to reach for a crutch like that, a treat. I didn't need a treat because my whole life was a treat. And that really made me think about ways that we can handle the craving to start shopping again. I'm driven to return to my bad behaviors and my bad habits when I'm bored, when I'm upset, when I'm hungry, when I'm just feeling kind of low. When my life is full and when I feel powerful and when I feel productive, it's like I don't have time, literally, actually, but I also don't really have mental space to want to do things that are ultimately unhealthy for me. And so it made me think two things. One relates back to the first thing I was talking about, the meditation stuff, which is that when I feel low, being okay with feeling low instead of fighting it makes me less likely to reach for a bad habit. The other thing that I've been thinking about is just the idea of filling our lives up with things that we genuinely love, that we know are healthy. And I know that not every weekend can be a tango festival weekend. That was a really lucky circumstance. I was in this beautiful place, I was surrounded by excitement, I was at an event. So it was easy to not want to shop, and it was easy to not want to eat chocolate because I was so highly stimulated, and not every day can be like that. But it did make me think that I can take some responsibility for surrounding myself with activities and circumstances that do bring a kind of stimulating joy or peace. So reading more books this year has definitely helped in this regard. When I'm in the middle of a good novel, it's like this amazing treat that's always waiting for me. I'm starting to try to think of like other things that I can start conceiving of as filling this role. I can take responsibility for creating a life that is so full that I am rarely left wanting something extra. One of those things for me is the makeup that I already own, the stuff I already own. A fantastic alternative to browsing on Sephora in the evenings when I'm bored is sitting down at my vanity and doing a dramatic editorial makeup look on my face with the products I already have. Doing something I've never done before with the products I already have is so much better than buying a product that I don't have when I haven't even gotten good use out of the ones I have. I feel like that's just one option. It goes kind of part and parcel with the idea of filling your life and the idea of taking responsibility for making your life a full life. If you guys have any ideas, or if you have any tools, if you have anything that you love to indulge in to sort of keep as a special surprise for yourself, that you find that you enjoy filling your life with, that is better than shopping, better than it, then leave it in the comment section. I want to know about it. That is it. I know this has been kind of a heady and brainy check-in. The things that I wanted to present to you during this check-in are very, very closely tied to the experience of my no-buy year, but I hope it wasn't too boring for those of you who are really here for the beauty or here for the makeup. I think that this aspect of my no-buy year, this kind of change is just beginning, and I believe it will continue to evolve over the coming months. So yeah, please let me know what you think. I really appreciate you spending this time with me, and I hope you'll take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.